guys, Jess Halleck here. I want to go over what to do when you first get your fall. You get it in the mail and it can be daunting at first. So, giving you an example of what it should look like and what it can look like if you just leave it in the box for a long time. So first, I'm going to show you this. This fall has been sitting in the box for, I don't know, months. So let's say you don't leave it out to store like on a counter or where it can like breathe. It's going to get really smushed inside. Which inside the box it doesn't look bad, but if you go and pull it out, you can't really style it easily because it's just flat and you have the kinks and everything. But how do you take this and then make it so you can wear it? So first step is you're going to most likely have to like mist it down with a really light, what's it called, spray bottle. So the ones that continuously spray are awesome because it's truly a mist. It's not, you're not gonna over saturate. So if you need to fluff it up, that's what I would do. I just mist it down, and then you can take a hair dryer with a nozzle and just hold this in your hand and blow dry it in a circle, or you can choose where you want to part it. That's another thing if you change your part. So let's say I'm parting in the middle today and then I start parting on the side. You can wet down the cap just a little bit. You don't have to totally soak it and do all that work. Just mist it down. Decide where you want your part to be. Section it out. And then blow dry it in that direction. And just use, if you can use a hair dryer with a nozzle on it, it's that really narrow piece that goes on the end, then it will focus the direction of the air. So if you need this to go this way instead of where it was before, then just use your nozzle. And then if you need more than that, or if you need it to be blow dried forward, you can always clip it on your head and do it that way too. I would just recommend using a ventilated brush or just something with not too much tension, because if it's gonna be clipped into your hair, you don't want it pulling as you're blow drying. That's definitely not the point. So something very gentle. Otherwise you can use your hand, or you can even clip it up with like a pant hanger or something so that you can blow dry it with a brush with two hands. So that's one tip. How it should come right out of the box. Just so you know, this has been customized. Every single fall has been customized. There's not one that we will ever send as is. They at least have to be cut. Let's say it was black and we didn't need to do a root on it. We always trim it. We always add layers to it. We always blow it out and style it, make sure it moves naturally and all of that. But with anything lighter than literally just the black color, we have to customize with color, whether it's toning, glazing, rooting, something. It makes all the difference, because the hair on your head, it might look like it's all one color, but then when you take your ends and you go like this, you're like, oh, it might be one shade different. So that's why we do it, just to give you that extra element that makes it look natural. So the blonde ones, I feel like are the ones that are the most tricky for people, because our natural, this is a perfect example for me. I washed my hair yesterday. So it's not super dirty or anything yet, but it could get a lot worse. So I have a root spray that I can spray on the halo right in the root area when my hair starts to get dirty, because everyone's hair looks a little bit darker when it's dirty. Just like if you're blonde and you're realizing that your blonde looks a little more yellow when it's dirty, same thing happens in your root area. So also when we're picking out a fall for you, and let's say you're a blonde or you have a highlight, low light blend of any sort, I recommend not to go with like the lightest option unless it's fully going to cover your head. If you bring it right up to your hairline, then great. But this one is actually has a little bit more dimension than my own hair, but when my hair gets dirty, which is usually when I want to reach for this, then it has that showing up anyway, just because it's not so fresh and clean and all of that. It's also very easy to blend, because nowadays, let's say you have a bright front, or let's say you just barely got your blonde done, you're brighter right to your scalp. Have you heard of the money piece? The pop around your face with color? That's in, so you can always have that showing just a little bit in the front and then just blend it in with your halo, and I'll show you how I do that. So we include this root spray. This is a light brown one. This is the one that I would use, and yes, it's light brown because even though I'm a blonde, it's still in the brown category. So when you're applying it, be careful at first. I would maybe test this on a piece of paper or a towel or something that you aren't gonna worry about, just to see, so you know the consistency it comes out like, so it doesn't like, you know, cover your whole fall and you're like, God, I didn't mean to do that. Because lots of times you just need a little bit. But what I like about this root spray is that it's not sticky, it's not gross, so it really wears well. I almost dropped it. So take your root area and be light with it, because you can always add more. So start further away start with less. I'm gonna test this one first. Okay, just to get a grip. I'm gonna take my fall and I'm just gonna lightly tap it. Just so you know, you can do the same thing on your own scalp. So if you have really, really fine hair and your density is just a big difference from what this is gonna give you, you can always spray this right on your scalp, and just making it a little bit more opaque looks more natural in the transition when you're putting a piece on like this. So unless you are going to have us cut it to where it's like a full face frame or bang, then I would definitely recommend doing that. If you have thicker hair and this is more just for fun, or you are thinning on the top of your scalp, like more in the crown area, then you probably won't have to worry about that as much. You just may add this to give it a little more root, you know? Okay, so included in your package is the brush and comb. So I'll show you how I use that. But generally, we'll always go off of your pictures for where to part it. If it's slightly off, then you can always, like I said, wet it down, change the part, blow dry it just a little bit, no harm done. It's hand tied, so it's not going to, it doesn't have a specific direction that it's supposed to lay, and that's the beauty of it. Another thing too though, when you do have a side part or something that's not right off center, when I'm cutting these, I'm assuming that you're gonna put this center clip at the center of your head, so lined up with your nose. So if you had a side part, I wouldn't use this and expect you to lay it sideways, because then when I cut it, especially if we cut it shorter to match your shorter bob or give you more length, and it needs to be even, I don't know the circumference of your head exactly, so I don't want to bank on you putting it in the right place. So that's why I go off of center. So let's say you had a deeper part than this and it was parted like over here. Always start with that center clip and put it right here. And that's what I went off of when I cut it for you. So let me show you how I do that. You're gonna clip, and let's say I did a balayage. So we'd still start with one of these highlight, low light blends, and then we custom color the balayage. The clip color doesn't change to brown until you are truly in the brown category of halos. So they're always these blonde clips, and I promise you, you will not see them. The hair covers it just fine, but that's always at least a question that people ask, because they're like, wait, is this gonna show and I have a brown balayage on there? Nope, because it tucks in real tight. So I line it up with my part, and it's just gonna depend on where you're wanting it to sit. There is not a specific place where these are supposed to sit, and that's the benefit of it. You can really put it anywhere. You can pull it further back or right up to your hairline. So you see how there's like a little bit of a lip right there? Well, for one, I need to move that piece. This is what the comb's for. So the comb is so you can kind of reach back and grab any hair that you have. Let's say you are super, super fine. I would say brush forward all the hair that you have and around your hairline so that that can sit at the front of the halo. So use the comb, pull all that hair out, and then softly comb it together. And that's all you have to do. So you see how my front piece is where I have a bright piece. It doesn't really matter because that's the style anyway, and it blends right in. So if I would not have gone with my normal super bright halo, because that would have been less forgiving than having just a little bit of dimension. Okay, another tip, if you are really fine in the front, you're gonna wear it on your hairline. This is how that would look. And this is also why I have this halo blow dried. That looks great. Further forward than I would have if I was personally wearing it, because I know that I don't wear it right up to my hairline, so I blow dry it like directing it back. But I did it so that I could show you this. So go right up to your hairline, and guys, you really only need, I swear, 5 hairs to make this clip in. Like, it does not need much to secure to. They're very, very good clips. So you can put it right up there, and let's say I cut a bang into it. You might just like grab your curling iron and style it how you were wanting it, like whatever's more common for you. And you just directionally style it like this. So that's an option, but you see the cap, like I have a pretty big head in general. When I wear hats, I'm not the small size, I'm not the extra small, I'm usually a medium. So this cap reaches all the way to just as my head starts to bend in the back. So this is a really big cap. It gives you a lot of flexibility with what you can do with it. Another option, if you're wanting to style this, if you're gonna wear this up, let's say you wanna wear it in a ponytail or you want to style it half up, set it further back on your head. And if you have really, really fine hair in the front, then set it just behind your hairline, just enough so that you can pull your hair back over it. You can brush the fall hair all the way back. Let me show you. You can brush it all the way back so that you can wear it in a high ponytail. If you have really fine hair, sometimes the ponytail piece could feel too heavy. And this is extremely lightweight, super discreet. Ooh, now I have a lot of hair. But you can pull it up in a high ponytail, and you can pull your front piece all the way over the cap if you wanted to hide it completely. You can also pull this up into a top bun very easily. You can style this half up, half down. How I first got into these was doing updos for big events and weddings, and I would love that I could, this had so much hair, I could braid it, and it looks so good. So if you're gonna do a half up, just grab a little bit of your front and pull it back with your fall piece. If this is, if you're using the fall for all of your hair, then just make sure you leave like a little halo of hair, just that, maybe like a little 1/2 inch around the front, and leave that so it can be your face frame, like how I'm doing. And then you can still do a half up style with it. You can do a bun, you can really do anything. So get creative with it. It definitely is a learning curve. It's especially if you haven't worn a topper of any sort. But once you start working with it and grabbing your iron, maybe some of your normal styling products, then it will feel more like your hair. I will say though, the least amount of products you can put on it, the better, just because then you don't have to wash it. We don't want to do that. Keep it super low maintenance. And then when you store it, instead of putting it on a hanger or putting it back in the box, just lay it out. Leave it on a shelf, somewhere where it's not going to get smashed, and then truly you don't have to touch it when you put it back on. When it gets more lived in, you know, when you've like worn it, it's gotten just like a little bit dirty, then it's something you can just grab and go. It's so awesome. So I hope this helped. If you have more specific questions, you can always direct message us on our Instagram page at Halo by Jess, or you can go to halobyjess.com and message us there, or email halo@jesshalleck.com, and we can always help you with your specifics. If you send us videos, that is the most helpful, because it's usually just a small tweak that needs to happen. So I love this piece. If it's the first time you're seeing it, you can also go to our website, fill out an inquire form. We do all of this virtually. We customize it in my salon and then ship it directly to you, all ready to go. So just use these few tips when you first get it to make it feel like you when it's on, and that's all you gotta do.